All right, so today we're thrilled to welcome a true pitmaster and culinary entrepreneur, Ryan King, to the Howell Studios podcast, Stories Behind the Brand. Ryan is the owner and driving force behind King's Barbecue in Jacksonville, Florida. From perfecting the art of smoking meats to creating signature rubs and sauces, Ryan's passion for barbecue runs deep. Thank you so much, Ryan, for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
How's 2025 treating you so far?
I was on God's wake up list. I'm doing great.
Yeah, you have like four different jobs. You're running your catering business. You're doing all your barbecue competitions. So I'm not sure how you manage it all, but it's very impressive.
Yeah, thank you. It's by the grace of God and a loving family and support system. But yeah, we're starting out 2025 good. Already got some caterings scheduled on the books. Got a couple of wins under our competition belt. We're growing our lunch spot, and we're vending and selling rubs and sauces. So we're doing good.
That's awesome. So I kind of want to dive into how you got your start. Like, where did your passion for cooking and barbecue, like, where did it come from?
I bet you if you ask 10 pit masters this question, more than half will have a similar answer. But, I grew up cooking with my dad, cooking on family events. And in 2014, I came home for 4th of July because my family, we always get together for the 4th of July and we barbecue. It's, a staple. And I come home and my dad has this show on TV called Barbecue Pitmasters, and I start watching it, and I'm like, I can compete with these guys. They ain't that good, and I could not. They are that good. And so that we watched it all day, we cooked all day, and God introduced me to two things that day. He introduced me to competition barbecue, and he introduced me to my wife.
It sounds like it worked out for you.
Yeah, 3 years later, I'm engaged. I'm taking barbecue classes. I'm buying a small barbecue pit. I'm looking at competitions. And then fast forward to 2025, we got, six grand championships, seven reserves, multiple top 10 calls, multiple perfect scores. So, just blessed and happy with what I'm given, and hopefully I can grow it.
I mean, I didn't know you back when you started. We've known you for about a year now, and I've tasted some of your award-winning barbecue, the stuff you've handed in and actually won championship on. I'm curious, do you have a story from when you first started? Like you said, you were failing so bad. Like, how bad was it?
Oh my! So the best way to in my opinion, the best way to learn how to cook is to make really bad barbecue, and uh, and you have to fail to succeed.
Right, right.
I've cooked ribs before that where people had to use a knife to get off the bone and still looked at me with a straight face and said it was good.
Yeah.
Um, when they say brisket will feel like shoe leather, that is an absolute fact if you don't cook it right.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's supposed to be tender. It's supposed to have an enjoyable chew. It's not supposed to be tough at all. And when you're learning how to do this, it's just you're making really bad barbecue. So you need to have friends that will that love you that will eat it anyways and
Right,
tell you to keep
right.
trying. But when uh, my first competition, I dabbled in the Georgia Barbecue Association, and I was getting my butt kicked left and right. I did not do well at all, and when I mean did not do well, I'm talking about I would enter a contest, and I was like last or next to last in ribs. I thought I got someone sick, like I thought like I had to talk to somebody, and
That's not good.
I I took a year off, year and a half off, went through the COVID period, and me and my wife invested into my barbecue. And in August of 2020, I did my first Kansas City Barbecue Society event. And again, I got my butt kicked. And then I did an event in October of 2020 in Bonifay, Florida. And it's like six
Mm-hmm.
hours from me. So I drove all this way. I do the contest. I leave the contest early. because I have no confidence in myself. The
Jeez.
gentleman,
Okay.
the guy that was parked next to me, wrote down my phone number that was on the side of the trailer, and he called me at 6:30. And he said, I thought you told me you'd never get a call." I was like, "I don't." He's like, "You got your name called 3 times and you were in top 10."
Wow. Wow.
And
That's
from that moment on, I never left a contest early.
that's such a great story. And I think what you're talking about, like how bad it was in the beginning and how great you are now, I think that kind of lends itself to industries across the board where it's just about starting. You're gonna stink at anything you do for the first time. It's about overcoming that fear and just being persistent and just keep going. And hearing your story, proves that. So that's awesome to see. And I mean, to see where you're at now is very impressive because, like I said, I've tried some of your award-winning barbecue, the stuff you've handed into judges, and I can't even describe it in words. It's that good.
Thank you. I
So
appreciate that.
yeah, it's amazing. So kind of transitioning into your product line, you have your own sauces and rubs, and I got some right here,
Hmm.
and the stuff is amazing. You were kind enough to give us some of your sauces, and at the office they don't last very long. That's why they're not on the table. They're all gone. We put them on everything we eat. How does starting your own brand? How did that come about?
I think it goes back to what you focus on expands, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
learned that when I was doing real estate. When you focus on something, it's going to expand, no matter what it is. I choose to focus on barbecue, and when you dive into barbecue, and I mean really dive into it, you want to know what flavors are going to enhance what meats, and what flavors don't. And so you start playing around with what works and what is scored on the barbecue circuit. And then you meet people like Jim with Sweet Smoke Q down near Lakeland. And he's a co-packer and he's a competition cook. And he's able to, I sent him my recipes and he sent me samples and it tasted really good. And so, and that's how we got the product line. But it was literally me in my kitchen adding salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, soy powder, bay leaf powder. You're adding these spices and stuff to create um, the end product is when the customer puts it on a piece of meat and tastes and says, "Wow, that tastes really good."
That's pretty cool to see. And watching you at these competitions, you're it's like you guys are. It's like a brotherhood where if anyone needs anything from you, even though you're competing against one another, you're willing to share anything you have.
If someone comes up to me at a barbecue contest and says, "Hey, I need help on brisket," I will definitely stop and help them to get what they want. I may not give them 100% of what I do, but I will
Sure,
give them a lot. Um, and so I'm willing to help anybody when I can because I've been helped, you know. And so you always want to pass the torch. So yeah, you go to competition barbecue if you ask anyone, they'll help out.
yeah. I mean, just from being at the last one where we were helping you create content, the person right next to you who you're competing against, he needed a smoker, and you guys lent him a couple smokers so he can compete. He needed a blender, and you stopped what you were doing. You ran in your trailer, and you got him a blender so he could, blend his spices. So, seeing that firsthand was impressive, and it speaks volumes about the person who you are.
Hmm.
Um,
Thank you.
so that's cool to see.
Yeah.
Um, that kind of transitions to religion, which a lot of people don't like to bring into their business, but I know you welcome it with open arms. Uh, why is that such a huge part in your life and your business?
Because Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior, and He died on the cross for my sins, and by grace I'm saved, and it's only because of Him that I'm allowed to even walk the path that I'm on. So and I want everyone to walk that path. I want everyone to know what type of love that is, And so I'm not one to shove it down someone's throat, but I'm definitely not going to hide from my faith. And it, the to walk the path with Christ, um, whenever it's really tough or whenever it's really joyful, he's always there. And I'm not scared to tell anyone about it.
We definitely can't skip the topic of Mama King, Miss Debbie King.
Oh
I
yeah.
know she's a huge part of your life. She's a competitor as well. Give us a little information for people who don't know your mom.
My mother is Debbie King out of Jacksonville, Florida, and she loves making dessert, and so she has
Mm-hmm.
received multiple perfect scores in the KCBS for her chocolate lush, and she's very proud of those. And I messed with her. I said, "You can't wear your award to church." And she tells me to hush. The only woman on earth
Yeah,
tells me to be quiet like that. Her and my
yeah,
wife, they just you got to watch them. But she's wonderful. She's hands on, mama. She's been like that since I was little. She gets she wants to be a part of everything, and she's actually a part of our business. She's actually the King's Barbecue business. She's actually an admin where she deals with some of the behind the scenes stuff. And so, if you ever put in a catering request with King's Barbecue on our website, you will hear from her first before you hear from me. And she's wonderful.
Do you think you get some of your like your competitiveness from her?
Um, I don't know if I would call it competitiveness. The will, the work ethic, the determination to do my absolute best I possibly can, and of course put Christ first in my life. That comes from mom and dad.
Right.
I always want to do absolutely the best I can in in competition barbecue, and that comes from the parents.
Do you ever try to replicate her desserts, or do you not even try?
Yeah, I tried and I sucked,
Yeah.
and I'm no good at it. So I don't yeah, desserts. I go and purchase desserts, or I have my mom. My dad. My dad. He makes a pecan pie that you would think you would automatically think you're like, obviously this man does this for a
Hmm.
living. No, he just does it because he wants to.
Right.
It's just that they know how to cook over there at the King
Yeah.
household.
Jumping into content, because I think it's a huge part of everyone's business and mindset, in the last few years. And I think you've done an amazing job with it. Obviously, we help you here and there. But how do you feel like having a brand new website and pushing out content has helped you over the last year?
So before Howell Studios, I was similar to a child playing in a sandbox. Um, After Howell Studios, I now have leaders in the barbecue industry contacting me, telling me how good my content is. I am no good. So one thing I have learned. I'm 46, so I have learned what I'm not good at, and I have learned that I need help in areas of my business life, my personal life. So where I need help, I'll go and search for
Right.
it. And I met Howell Studios through SDG Trailers, and they recommended y'all. And from the first video y'all showed me, the first content y'all put out, I was floored. I was personally floored because I can't do that. And I know in today's society, if you have a business and you're trying to get eyes, that's our goal, right? We need to get eyes on our business so our profits go up, so people buy
Right.
stuff. Well, I need help getting those eyes, and the best way to get help is to go to Howell Studios to put together content that you can put on social media and grow a YouTube channel and grow a website to where you have, you know, thousands of eyes looking at you. Before Howell Studios, I was not on Google. Now, if you Google uh, barbecue catering in Jacksonville or St. Johns County, I'm in the top five. That alone is amazing.
From our side of things, working with someone like you makes our job that much easier because what you do is amazing. It's easy to make look good. Also, your personality really helps us do our job to the fullest because anything we ask for you, because you live in Florida, we live in New York, and it's this nice mixture of asking you to kind of create content when we're not there, and the collaboration of that team I think is been a nice fit, and it's really cool to see you grow as a company. You know, getting you that brand new website, getting you on Google, getting your catering business up and running so people can find you, being at some of your competitions, creating content, meeting the people in the industry. That's been really fun for us and me personally. Do you have a preference over your catering business and your competition? Because I know they're two different worlds.
That competition career is something that I strive at very hard, and catering is a tool that will grow income for my family. I'm really not the competition career. I'm not going. You really don't make a lot of money at. You get a lot of eyes on you. You get trophies and everything. Yeah, you win a little bit of money, but typically it's not enough to put food on the table week in and week out.
Right.
Uh, but catering, that will supply you and your family with steady income if you get enough of them. And it's a great way to maximize profits. And the reason why I say that on catering is because you can calculate very easily. Okay, how many guests do I have? Or I know I'll cook this much. I'm going to make this much, and that'll give me X amount going into my bank account. Where in food trucks, you don't know who's coming up. You don't know who's coming up that day, right? At a vending event, it could rain, and you lose your butt and not make any money. Catering is probably the best way for if you have enough caterings coming in, the best way to really grow your business. Excuse me. But the competition side is I like the most because it's exciting. You are literally trying to get six strangers who do not know you and will never see you to take a bite of your barbecue and to say that's the best thing I've ever had.
Right. Right.
And that's not easy to do. And to do it across from four meats and do it continuously over a period of a couple of years and be consistent at it is very difficult. I've done maybe 60 contests in 4 years, and 10 of them, 10 to 12 of them, I've finished either first or second to give you an idea of the percentage.
The reason I ask about the catering versus the competition is because I've seen like your personality, your mood, your energy all change when you're focused in on a competition, and you're asking for time. You know, you're wiping your head with the sweat. You're just dialed in and focused. So it's interesting to hear you say that you really enjoy competition over, well, not over catering, but you just really enjoy the competition scene.
Yeah, there's nothing, to me, there's nothing better. And, it's when you're at a competition, you got 30 minutes to put together a box, walk it up to judges, get back and do it again. And a lot of teams, they have teammates helping them. It's just me, typically.
Right.
Every now and then I'll have someone help me out, but typically when I'm doing a competition, it's just me. And it's not easy to do. You're juggling a bunch of stuff, and but it's very gratifying. The very first KCBS I did, I literally just thanked the Lord that I was able to turn in four boxes, and literally the turn in place was 20 feet from me.
Wow.
So yeah, it wasn't far, and it was very stressful, but It's funny. The very first KSBS contest I did terrible at. A year later to the date, at the same contest, is where I won my first grand championship, and that was special. So,
Obviously, you have to get more confident as you do more
oh yeah,
competitions, right?
you do get more confident, but competition barbecue will humble you. You
Right.
will. You're going to because none of us are perfect. We're going to
Mm-hmm.
fail. We're going to fall. But you get up. But you are going in competition barbecue. You are going to fall, and your scorecard will humble you. And it's important to realize that, excuse me, that you just focus on the process, focus on the learning, focus on the growing. You're not going to get four perfect scores. Uh, the fact that you get one is amazing enough. You
Yeah.
know, um, and my friends like this last contest at the Jimmy Jam. I didn't like my brisket. I thought the slices were too thick. I thought it would turn the judges down, and I got first place brisket. And
Wow.
it was just divine intervention. It
That's
was
awesome.
it was not me.
Yeah.
So very very thankful.
That's so cool. So where do you see yourself in the next year, in the next 5 years? Like, what's the future hold for King's Barbecue? I know this year coming up is very busy for you, and I know you're cooking an event for the senator. But where do you see this going?
My goal every time I cook is to provide for my family. That's it. God charges a man to provide for his family. It's it actually says in the Bible, if you don't do it, it's worse than a non-believer. So that's my goal is to provide for my family and to grow the blessing that I've been given, which is King's Barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
And our goal, I think, after this first year, that we should be over $100,000 in sales. And people are like, "Wow, that doesn't sound like a lot." Well, when you start out where I did, that is a lot. And in 5 years, I can see this thing being in the, you know, I don't know, $5-6 million a year. That's what I would like to see. I would like to see a continuous SDG trailer at a lunch spot with an SDG trailer traveling from state to state doing event festivals and my Amazon rubs and sauces growing and then my continuous competition career mixed in with some catering. That's where I see it. I see multiple levels of my business all providing an income for not only me but my employees and growing it that way.
I think the sky's the limit for you because you have a crazy work ethic. You have a great product that you're putting out, and you're just very determined. So I think there's a lot of good things coming your way, and I'm excited to watch you grow.
Me too.
Once again, Ryan, thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy day to chat with us. We look forward to seeing all the amazing things that you're going to be doing this next year. And for anyone out there that wants amazing barbecue, great spice or sauces and rubs, make sure to check out Ryan at kingsbarbecuejacks.com. So thank you, Ryan, so much, and have a great one.